and your RGBFC Toros. Welcome to HME Park, the home of your RGBFC Toros. For your own protection, the safety of fellow fans and the players, and in the spirit of good sportsmanship, the United Soccer League, the RGBFC Toros, and HEB Park request that you refrain from yelling harmful slurs and throwing any objects onto the field. Such behavior can cause serious injury, and violators can be subject to ejection from the premises, fined, and arrested. We also remind you that any spectator going onto the field unaccompanied by a staff member or interrupting play in any manner can be subject to ejection from the premises, fined, and arrested. Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder that the use of video cameras is prohibited inside HEB Park. Please notice the exit signs. In case of an emergency, exit to the nearest marked emergency exit. When using the stairs, use handrails. If you notice something suspicious or out of place, please notify a member of our staff. Remember, if you see something, say something. We thank you for your cooperation and hope you enjoy tonight's game. Let's meet our opponents. The starting 11 for Charleston Battery. Captain number 20, defender A.J. Madison. Number 25, goalkeeper Trey Muse. Number 5, defender Leland Archer. Number 14, defender Derek Dodson. Number 19, defender Robbie Crawford. Number 28, defender Declan Wynn. Number 4, midfielder Chris Allen. Number 6, midfielder Dante Palveda. Number 12, midfielder Arturo Rodriguez. Number 9, forward Augustine Williams. Number 11, forward Fidel Baraja. Charleston Battery is coached by Ben Herman. The referees for tonight's game are referee Matthew Corrigan, assistant referee 1 Matthew Schwartz, assistant referee 2 Seth Barton, and fourth official Samuel Zamora.
And good evening and welcome to Edinburgh. We're at the southern tip of Texas to bring you exciting USL Championship soccer. Tonight, the Rio Grande Valley Toros will try to outgun the Charleston Battery. Glad to have you with us. I'm Mark May with Brian Smith coming to you from beautiful HEB Park here on ESPN+. And Brian, who are our players to watch here tonight?
It'll be a matchup of youthful exuberance and skill beginning Charleston Battery, they have themselves quite the midfielder in Arturo Rodriguez. He had their lone goal in their 1-0 victory last weekend over Monterey Bay, and more than that, he has been an assistant chief this season. Done a spectacular job of setting their offense out of the middle. He'll look to be a key part of their attack against the strong defense of Rio Grande Valley. On the other side for the Toros, look no further than 22-year-old Taylor Davila. Davila has been a revelation in the attack for Rio Grande Valley on the season. Leads the team in chances created with 17, and more than that, his ability to set the pace with long passes, 71% long passing efficiency, allows the Toros to really stretch the field and send that ball deep to their attacking forwards.
All right, yeah, a couple of good players to keep an eye out for. Both teams in need of a victory, as it's the Charleston Battery for the first time in Edinburgh, Texas, to take on the Rio Grande Valley Toros. We'll take a break, be back with the starting lineups in a moment. You're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors, from savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
When it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on Far 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing in your community? By creating jobs that stimulate our local economy, creating success that we share with our community. In fact, Lone Star National Bank donates more money and more volunteers to more causes than all other area banks combined. We do what the little banks can't, and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
And welcome back here at HEB Park in Edinburgh, Texas. Mark May with Brian Smith. And Brian, take us through our starting lineups.
Start with the visiting Charleston Batteries. They have quite an interesting lineup. They'll be in the 4-5-1 on the evening. You see there Trey Muse, the newcomer from Detroit 901, first season with Charleston Battery, will start in goal. And then the lineup there, all the way down to the 4-5-1, those 5 midfielders should really help them in their attempt to stand over the ball and really control the pace of play. On the other side for the Toros of Rio Grande Valley, they're going to find themselves in the 5-3-2, really focused on getting established defensively. Keeper in this one is going to be Carlos Marciano. That'll be his first USL start. Second start for the Toros. He was in the U.S. Open Cup game earlier this year. His first start as a USL competitor through the lineup. The lone forward for Rio Grande Valley, correction, 2 forwards for Rio Grande Valley, going to be Ricky Ruiz and Wilmer Andres Cabrera, as the Toros try to build on their strong defense they've had all season into a more effective attack. Let's take a look at your keys at this one. Starting with the visiting Charleston Battery, their key is going to be not falling into a game where they're chasing the Toros back and forth across the field. Rio Grande Valley is very adept at getting out and stretching their opponent with those long passes, forcing them to expel a tremendous amount of energy. Look for Charleston not to allow themselves to get into that chasing game. The other side for Rio Grande Valley, they have got to create chances. They've got to do it early. They've got to do it often. This is a Toros team that does really well when they are ahead. In fact, they have yet to drop a match when they are the first team to score, 2-0-2 in matches in which they score first.
Well, this is just the second meeting between these two clubs. The first meeting was last September, and that was in Charleston, South Carolina, when the Toros pulled off a 3-0 victory. But last year's Charleston team, a lot different from this year's Charlton.
Yeah, they've had a lot of major substitutions, a different head coach in this one as they brought over the USL Coach of the Year from last season to take over the helm here at Charleston. And on top of that, he brings over his trusted keeper in Trey Muse, who's making his first season with the Battery after being on Memphis 901 last year.
Yeah, Muse having a terrific year, too. 4 clean sheets already this season in 11 starts for this Charleston Battery club. That's tied for the second most clean sheets in the entire league this year. You can see Charleston Battery on your right. They'll be wearing the white kits, and the Rio Grande Valley Toros in the blue tops with the white shorts. And there's our referee, Matthew Corrigan, tonight. Checking his watch, and we're about to be underway here at HEB Park. And there we go, Charleston Battery and the Rio Grande Valley Toros. 2 teams on opposite ends in terms of the standings. Charleston Battery in first place in Group East with 21 points. 6 wins, 2 losses with 3 draws. And then the Toros have, although been unbeaten in 3 of their last 4, coming off a tough loss last week against Tampa Bay Rowdies. And they are 2-3 with 5 draws, 11 points, and begin the night in 10th place in Group West. You see Charleston passing it back to their 23-year-old keeper, Trey Muse, who we just talked about. He's a big keeper, too, 6'4", 185. A little bit of pressure here. And you can see the Toros putting on some early defensive pressure here. And this is something we've seen a lot from the Toros, to try to generate some turnovers in the attacking half and get some shots at goal.
And it allows your defense and your midfielders to be a big part of developing your attack. The one inconsistency for the Toros early on this year has been their ability to put up points. The forwards have not been able to work through these opponents to get easy scores. So the Toros have forced their pressure to come up and force those turnovers, force interceptions, and in doing so, free up those forwards to get into attacking positions and be in a better spot, try to make some things happen.
Yeah, the Toros actually outshoot Charleston a little bit, 12 to 11.2 in terms of shots per game. But the goal scoring production, yeah, definitely a big difference there. Charleston Battery with 15 goals and the Toros with just 9 goals coming into tonight.
There's some good pressure right there from Rio Grande Valley. See, they put that trap right at the feet of Bovara and forced the quick turnover.
Bovara out of Pleasantville, New York, just a 22-year-old midfielder. And here's the throw in by Ritondale from Argentina, just turned 21 for the Toros, first year with Rio Grande Valley. Frank Nadarce has it at his foot now. And he'll turn around and fire it back to his keeper. And drawing his first start in the USL Championship is the keeper, Merancillo. He did play in the U.S. Open Cup loss to South Georgia Tormenta. That was a 2-1 loss. And that's been his only action so far this year. Otherwise, it's been Tyler Derrick. Tyler Derrick didn't appear to be shaken up or anything like that last week. But Merancillo may be drawing the start tonight just so Coach Wilmer Cabrera can get a look at him in action.
Nice job of applying some pressure here from Rio Grande Valley. Just could not get themselves moving forward. You see they're tripped up there by Robbie Crawford as he tries to put the sliding tackle in to break up that forward attack for Rio Grande Valley.
Here's Wahab Akwe, leads the team in interceptions from his center back spot, brings the ball up aggressively and fires over to the left side. Chance brewing here, and there's a shot, and Muse has to go to ground to make that save. So a nice fortuitous beginning here for the Toros here in the 4th minute.
Wilmer Andres Cabrera does a nice job. That was a well-placed long pass. He has the wherewithal to knock that down and bend it back in toward the middle. It gave him some space to shoot. As you mentioned, Muse up to the challenge there. He very gently picks that one up and sends it the other way.
Ball headed forward by Declan Nguyen. It's out of South Africa. Now we've got a stoppage, and this will be a free kick.
And Duilo Loretta, who's getting his second start as a defender, ends up being knocked down as he comes forward. He got his first start as a defender last time out against Tampa Bay Rowdies. He was a late addition following an injury to normal starter Jonathan Ricketts. Did a phenomenal job coming in to play defense there. Usually a forward for the Toros. Gets a second straight start.
The Toros going with 5 defenders back tonight. That's the first time I think we've seen that this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems like they're really focused on not allowing themselves to get caught out of position defensively. Plenty of bodies to come back. It was kind of their downfall last time out against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. The Rowdies were able to get counters developed very quickly, and by the time the Toros got numbers back, they were too spread out to challenge. 3 second-half goals led to the Rowdies' 3-0 victory.
Chance for Davila right there, and a big shot and a save by Muse. It's up in the air, and he punches it clear. Boy, that ball bounced into open space and then appeared at the foot of Davila.
That's what pressure does for you. A little heel touch there from Francois puts Davila in a great spot. Look at Muse using every inch of that 6'4" frame to take up some space.
So the Toros with a couple of good shots early to challenge Muse, who has risen to the occasion both times. And here are the Toros again on the buildup. This is Ricky Ruiz. To the left side, couldn't quite connect. That'll go out for goal kick. Was trying to get it to Wilmer Cabrera Jr., son of the head coach.
It looked like Ruiz was trying to bend that toward the corner, got a little too much on it. In the process, Cabrera folded in, thinking that ball was going to kind of lip out for him. Not able to make the connection, but you like that idea. Anytime the Toros are attacking toward the box, good things will happen.
A heavy touch there and forced to play it back as there was pressure by Robbie Crawford from the Charleston battery. Crawford out of Scotland. Or was able to recover. And now they think they're going to say a free kick as Francois took a tumble. It's quickly put back in play by the Rio Grande Valley Toros. Another chance here. Francois takes a shot, but that's well wide. Still, I like the aggressiveness here by the Toros early on.
Yeah, Bulls on parade right now. They are coming out and they are racing down the field. That's going to reach some pretty positive dividends. This Toros team is at its best when it is attacking and striking. When they come back and just try to allow their defense to control pace of play, this season especially, they have not found a tremendous number of success.
Ball cleared out all the way to Akwe's foot. Teams trying to assert themselves in midfield. And, you know, Charleston has been a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team at times. Last week, a 1-0 gym over Monterey Bay, held Monterey Bay to just 1 shot on target that whole game. But the week before that, they got blasted by San Antonio FC 7-0. It's the worst loss of their year.
San Antonio, the cream of the crop of the USL right now. They're leading the West with 27 points. No shame in losing to San Antonio. A lot of teams are going to do that in the USL Championship this year. But I think that was also a wake-up call for the battery, that they had to really kind of settle themselves down and settle into their defense.
You see a big kick there by the keeper, Merencillo, out of Hermosillo, Mexico. Here come the Toros once more. Here's Davila. Oh, fires the ball. Good pass there to Cabrera. Moves inside into the area, and it's kicked clear. And coming back there to play some defense, that was Derek Dodson. And Dodson prevented anything dangerous from brewing here.
That was played spectacularly well. That's exactly what the battery needed in that situation. The black and yellow allowed themselves to get a little out of position there. The Toros were on the attack. You saw Cabrera pulls that back looking for Francois. Dodson does what has to be done, comes in and clears that one away to force the corner.
Here's Cabrera with the corner inside. Keeper stays home. Toros will maintain possession here. Ruiz, he goes down, and this will be a free kick here for the Toros in a dangerous spot.
Now that time's going to go on Augustine Williams as he gets his feet wrapped up with Ricky Ruiz. And Ruiz, as we've seen in his 2 seasons with the Toros, very adept at drawing the foul. He's so crafty with the ball at his feet. He gets a tremendous number of foul calls on those very situations.
Has that low center of gravity, 2'5'7", 150 pounds. Easy for him to get knocked down and to draw the free kicks. Talking things over, this is Cabrera and Davila. See, he pulled his jersey up over his mouth like a pitcher puts his glove over his mouth, so you can't do any lip reading there. Davila will take it. It's headed out. Headed out by Charleston's Sebastian Palma. The Toros may be able to regain possession here at the midfield. Ritondali sends it back in, trying to hit it to Francois. Now it's at the foot of Ruiz once more. He's got Cabrera. Cabrera will take it. Two markers in front of him. And now Ruiz. Lake Elsinore, California, moves inside, shoots. And a little bit of trouble for Muse, but able to bring it down to his feet and make the save.
Well, of late, the Toros have taken a tremendous number of shots, challenging the keepers. You're seeing it hit a gear early against the Battery. High number of shots and good quality shots. They're putting those on target.
That was to the short side that time. Muse had it covered. 3 saves already in this game for Trey Muse out of Louisville, Kentucky. Here come the Toros once more. This is just like our Keys played out. When the Toros they can score first, builds up their confidence tremendously. They have not lost a game when they've scored first.
When they can stretch you out and make you chase, you're seeing it here. They'll play it all the way back to the keeper. Just a moment ago, they flipped the field, sending it wide to the other side, forcing the Battery to get out and run. That expends a tremendous amount of energy. That can work to your favor in the later minutes of a match.
Here's Francois. Francois will send it in. Didn't have anybody there. They had a marker in front of him, and he was able to stuff that one.
Yeah, Leland Archer does a spectacular job defensively there with Francois. He's weaving back and forth. And Archer stayed right on his hip, did not allow him to really get a charge into that foot to try to drive something toward the net.
You see Francois there. He's a 29-year-old midfielder out of Haiti. Played for the Haitian national team. Francois with 2 goals this season. Chance here for Charleston. They send it into the area. Heavy touch there, and Cabezas able to get control of it. And now here come the Toros. Pass off to Francois. They're going to hold up here. They're going to say, I thought they might have been playing advantage at first, but they're going to bring this back. Coronado picking up the foul in midfield.
Good look at the speed of Coronado there. He was just flat out running the Battery down the pitch. Ends up having his legs taken out from under him toward the end of this. See a full sprint right down through there. That's Chris Allen who comes in and wraps his feet up with Coronado. See immediately. Official takes a look at who has possession advantage. Was to the Toros. He'll let that play out for a moment before calling the foul. Augustine Williams is getting an explanation right now from the lead official.
Augustine Williams out of Sierra Leone. We'll see it again.
Chris Allen just tries to go to turf and try to clear that one away and ends up tripping up Coronado, who had a head of steam headed forward.
Cabezas, the team captain, 32 years old, out of Colombia, taking this free kick. Only 1 man in front of him. Cabezas looking to his right. He'll find Edetta. Edetta is a local product out of right here in Edinburgh. Although originally born in Reynosa, Mexico, is just across the border, about 10 miles south of here. Now controlled by the Battery, at least for the moment, by Arturo Rodriguez. Sends it to his back line. And here is Wynn. South African will send it up to midfield. And Charleston Battery trying to get something brewing on the offensive side. They don't have any shots yet. Meanwhile, the Toros have 4 and could be adding to that. Here's Ruiz. Going to send it into the area. Muse stays back. And then it's played out. A nice play there by Archer. Second big play he's made, isn't it?
Yeah, he's come up huge on that back line. And you see there, Cabrera was cutting in. If Ruiz had placed that a little bit softer, it's going to be at the foot of Cabrera. Archer read that beautifully and was able to get enough of a head on it to send it out, forcing another corner.
Here's Cabrera, the 22-year-old son of the head coach, take the second corner. This will stay low and intercepted there by the defender there, Chris Allen. Allen sends it too far in front of himself, loses possession, and then ends up committing the foul as he upends Ritondole. Allen he was an Englishman, 24 years old.
This could have been a spectacular counter for the Battery. As you see, Allen did have Augustine Williams trailing to his right. He could have pulled back and sent it right. Ritondole read that beautifully, comes forward and is able to take it away on the intercept before that develops any further. It looked like the Battery may have been just 2 or 3 steps away from being able to send something safely over to Augustine. They would have had a really nice opportunity.
Francois to throw this in. Actually, he's going to allow his teammate Ritondole, who, after that horrific spill a moment ago, appears to be okay. He's going to throw it in. It's tapped away from him, but Coronado is there to keep it alive. Now Herrera will play it. Ruiz on the right wing. Finds Cabezas. Cabezas will one-touch it to the far post. Chance is still alive here for the Toros. Ritondole will send it in. Headed clear by the Archer. Now Cabezas with the intercept. Another chance here for the Toros. Coronado, shot blocked in front. Ruiz trying to go, oh, nice turn there by Ruiz, and he'll shoot, and a save made there by Muse. Wow, great movement there by Ruiz.
We've talked about how dynamic Ricky Ruiz is with the ball at his feet. I mean, that was a sharp, sharp turn. Turns on a dime, quite literally, look at it. And then takes a wonderful strike. Muse read that beautifully, but the Toros have really been putting Muse to work right now, and the Battery have stood up to the challenge defensively.
Davila takes the corner, a short one to Ruiz. He'll return it to Davila with the angle to work with, but couldn't get that up in the air like he wanted. Charleston holding firm once more. Been 4 corner kicks already for the Toros. Here's Ruiz. Into the area. He'll center the ball to the foot of Davila. Now Coronado with a shot, but too high.
That was an excellent opportunity for Rio Grande Valley again. Robert Coronado ends up getting under it, so he floats it high. The Toros have had no shortage of opportunities. Their attack has been razor sharp. Has not quite been able to cook that between the posts.
Cruz has been very busy tonight between the posts. Came into tonight. He's played every game this season. At 27 saves coming in. He's added 4 more to that total. This one of 7 games going on throughout the USL Championship. Sacramento beating Hartford last night 4-1. And Las Vegas picked up their first win of the year, 1-0 over Phoenix. This will go out of play to be Charleston Battery throw in. Either throw in by Derek Dodson out of Aurora, Illinois. 6'1" defender. Listed as a defender, but he's pretty creative on the offense. Has 3 assists this year, 10 chances created. And here the ball won by the Toros once more. They move into the attacking third. Francois send it to Cabrera, and now Cabezas has it. Toros trying to work their way to the right side. Ball was kicked away from Ruiz. Battery back in possession. This is Allen. And his pass intercepted there by the Toros. Herrera. Benitez trying to get it to Cabrera. Ritondole keeps it from going out. Now 2 markers converge on Ritondole and they win possession. The Dodson with it. Now Long pass ahead, and here's an opportunity. That goes wide.
It's a phenomenal long pass right there for the Battery. Able to slip that through quite adeptly. You see, nice job coming out and applying some pressure from the keeper. And in doing so, prevents that attack from coming more. But that's all led by that extremely long pass that puts him in attacking position.
Yeah, that was Fidel Barajas, the midfielder, just 17 years old, out of Sacramento, California. And a good save there by Merancillo. First time he's been tested tonight.
We'll get a late foul call here. A free kick coming now for the Battery. They let them play the advantage there for a moment before that one was kicked out. Arturo Rodriguez was taken down. He'll take this free kick.
First free kick of the game for Charleston Battery. Standing over the ball, Arturo Rodriguez from Mexico, just 24 years old. And
looks like we've got a lightning delay.
Okay, I was wondering. I thought it was too early for halftime, but a lightning delay here in the game. Here in the 21st minute, and with no score, Toros have dominated most of the action. And Charleston with a free kick opportunity as they call this lightning delay.
Quick look at your stats where we stand. As you mentioned, Mark, this game has been led by Rio Grande Valley as far as time of possession, 60% in favor of the Toros. Are actually out shooting Charleston Battery as well, 4-7 overall. Just a spectacular job of setting the pace of play by Rio Grande Valley, putting themselves in a position to take a lead here, although they have not been able to put any of their 4 shots on target back into the net.
Yeah, the Toros have completed almost 80% of their passes in this game compared to 77% for Charleston Battery. But passes in the final third, oh my goodness, Toros 41, Charleston 4.
It's quite an advantage right there, and it shows what Rio Grande Valley has been doing with the attack. They've been applying the pressure, but also not being out of control. They're not taking wild, crazy shots. They're really developing a strong attack, and you see that with such a high number of passes in the final third.
All right, we're going to take a break and come back in just a minute. You're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
We have a 30-minute lightning delay.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors. From savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
When it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on FAR 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing in your community? By creating jobs that stimulate our local economy, creating success that we share with our community. In fact, Lone Star National Bank donates more money and more volunteers to more causes than all other area banks combined. We do what the little banks can't, and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
Okay, welcome back. You can see we're in a weather delay, and that's actually a graphic. That's not what it actually looks like outside, but there was some lightning detected in the area, so they have called a temporary stoppage. And we're going to take a look at some highlights real quickly here of the first half. And Brian, can you take us through that?
As we said, Rio Grande Valley were the aggressors early on. You're seeing a nice look right here. Wilmer Andres Cabrera, first shot on target for the Toros as he slips that one through. Francois, nice heel touch here. Tyler Davila, perhaps one of the best strikes Rio Grande Valley had in the match, but Muse comes out, knocks it up, and then knocks it out. Coming back the other way here, the Toros once again. Wilmer Andres Cabrera, nice little cut back here before that one ends up being cleared out by Chris Allen. Strike there from Ricky Ruiz. Muse up to the challenge. Ruiz again. And Muse, again, just a spectacular job in net as the keeper. Full extension. It will deflect that one away. Coming back the other way, this is the lone strike so far from the Charleston Battery. A beautiful long lead pass before it is broken up by Marciano, the keeper. But as we stand 0-0 headed into this lightning delay.
All right, so we're going to take a little bit of a break while they have a break in the action right here. We're in the 21st minute of the first half. No score yet between the Toros and the Charleston Battery. And just stay tuned, and we'll be back on as soon as we can. Thank you.
Sometimes
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors. From savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
when it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on FAR 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing
At H-E-B, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the H-E-B Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors. From savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. H-E-B Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
When it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on FAR 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing in your community? By creating jobs that stimulate our local economy, creating success that we share with our community. In fact, Lone Star National Bank donates more money and more volunteers to more causes than all other area banks combined. We do what the little banks can't, and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
And welcome back to HEB Park in Edinburg, Texas. We had a lightning delay, but it looks like we're going to be back in action in just a few moments. You see Robert Coronado started tonight for the Rio Grande Valley Toros, who seem to be controlling the action so far. When we resume in just a moment, we'll be in the 21st minute. Still no score, but Brian, the Toros have been controlling the action thus far, haven't they?
Yeah, the stats tell an interesting story. When you look at Rio Grande Valley, they were a team coming in that looked like they wanted to be in control. In the first 21 minutes of this match, that's exactly what we saw. 60% of the time possession favored the Toros to just 39% by Charleston Battery. They're actually out shooting the Battery by a pretty good margin as well. 7 total shots, 4 on net for the Toros. No shots on net yet for the Battery. They did have that one errant strike that went just a little bit wide of Marancio toward the end of the 20th minute. Otherwise, this has been exactly what Rio Grande Valley needed coming off of that 3-0 loss to the Tampa Bay Rowdies. They wanted to come out and really kind of flex some of that muscle. Joe, they're a team that can be challenged with their offensive attack. They had some pretty good looks, but look no further than Trey Muse in net for the Battery. He was phenomenal. Got out, defended full extension to take away a strike from Tyler Davila. Just best of the best so far in the USL and what you've seen in the first couple of minutes here from Muse.
Well, yeah, let's take a look at some of Muse's moments here as we run the highlights here of the first half.
See, early on, this is the strike from Wilmer Andres Cabrera. Pushes that just a little bit wide right. Francois, nice heel touch to Davila. This is that save we were talking about. Punches it up, and that secondary punch to keep that away from Cabrera. Coming back the other way once again. They get Ricky Ruiz here in a good spot. But look at the defense coming out to help here for the Battery, closing in and taking that one away. Ruiz with a nice strike there as well. Muse up to the challenge. Another look at that Ruiz strike. Punched away there by Trey Muse. Another angle on this strike from Ricky Ruiz. He had himself quite an active first couple of minutes here. And then coming back the other way, that is the errant strike that almost got past the keeper for the Battery. Comes up as just a shot not on net. We had, of course, our lightning delay strike about 30 seconds after that attack.
Yeah, and when we do resume, it'll be a free kick opportunity for the Charleston Battery. That was in the attacking third there, very close to the Toros' goal. Maybe we can go through some of the scores here from around the league as well.
Yeah, earlier on in the evening, Maxi Rodriguez got the goal in the 29th minute to push Detroit to a 1-0 victory over Birmingham. That helps Detroit's continued climb up the standings there in the East. Wilson Harris struck in the 20th minute to lift Louisville over Indy 11-1-0. 2 big victories there for Detroit and Louisville early on.
And that'll be Charleston's next opponent too, Indy 11.
And then Miami and Orange County played what might have been one of the tightest matches you're going to see in the USL Championship this season. They go to a 0-0 draw in Miami. 1 total shot on net between those two in that matchup. Also, Tampa Bay Rowdies are currently capitalizing on an own goal and a goal from J.J. Williams. They're up on Colorado Springs 2-0 in the closing minutes of that matchup.
All right, there we see a look at the head coach for this Charleston Battery team, Ben Pierman. In his first year, 37 years old, originally from Detroit. And as you mentioned earlier, he was the USL Championship Coach of the Year last year with Memphis.
Made the trip now to be the head coach for the Charleston Battery. And then we mentioned, brought his keeper with him. Trey Muse was the starting keeper for Detroit last season and has been nothing short of spectacular for Charleston this year. Get a look at Muse there. He's taken a seat in front of the net.
Yes, the goalkeeper coach there standing next to him. I don't know if he has any kind of injury concern or something that he's asking about or anything. He appears to be okay.
That is something you worry about when you come out of one of these lengthy lightning/rain delays. You've got out there, you've gotten hot, you've gotten stretched out, then you have to go back into the locker room, cool off. You come back out for that warm-up session, and sometimes you can tweak, twist something just a little bit in the process of warming back up. We'll look at Eric Kisner for the Toros. He is on their list of reserves that could come in the second half.
That came out of the Seattle Sounders Academy up there in Washington, just 20 years old.
That's Joseph Schmidt, the midfielder out of Ohio for the Battery.
A 24-year-old midfielder. And there was the assistant coach, Gerson Echeverry, former head coach of the Toros.
Looks like Trey Muse is back up now for the Battery. He's taking some strikes now, getting himself warmed up.
So players now still continuing to get warmed up. We've had no word on any possible substitutions as yet. It'll probably be the same 11 that both started with. There you see the Toros keeper Carlos Marancio out of Hermosillo, Mexico, getting his first start in a USL Championship match here tonight. It had been Tyler Derrick every game up until tonight. And Coach Wilmer Cabrera wanting to get a look at him. Marancio did get some action in the one game they played in the U.S. Open Cup. That was a 2-1 loss to South Georgia Tormenta. Well, last year, the Toros advancing to the third round of the U.S. Open Cup. They lost to the Houston Dynamo. This past year, they went out in the second round after a first round bye. You can see the crowd here at HEB Park. Now, this is an interesting stat here. The Toros have yet to win at home this year. Have 4 draws and 2 losses. Charleston Battery has yet to lose on the road. That's kind of interesting.
That is an interesting quirk of the schedule. But no surprise when you look at Charleston, they've had that kind of success. They have been on an absolute tear to up with the USL schedule. That's why they find themselves at the top of the East. Quite literally, the beast in the East is Charleston Battery right now with a pretty sizable lead in the Eastern standings. Toros still just trying to find their identity as a team. A win tonight could propel them as high as a tie for 8th, which would put them back in the playoff picture in the West. But they've got some work to do here at home. And one of the things Coach Wilmer Cabrera has talked about with his team coming into these home matches that they've been able to come away with the victories, he said they want to find success at home. They want to show these home fans some of the appreciation for all the support they give them. Toros do have 2 wins on the year, both of which happened on the road. They want to bring some of that success back home and show this is a Toros team that appreciates everything this Rio Grande Valley community gives to them. Of course, Coach Cabrera has taken them to back-to-back appearances in the USL Championship playoffs, looking for a 3rd straight appearance this season. And no shortage of that comes from the support they get from the community. This is the Valley's soccer team here in Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah, team debuted back in 2016. First professional team in the Rio Grande Valley's history. Charleston Battery in their 30th year, or 31st year actually, as a professional soccer club. And you mentioned the standings a little bit. The Toros beginning tonight in 10th could move up into a tie with Oakland and New Mexico. And meanwhile, Charleston leads the East by 4 points ahead of Tampa Bay and Louisville City, which won tonight. Pittsburgh and Birmingham are the top 5 out in the East. I think we're getting ready for that free kick now to start up this second half of the first half. That was earned by Charleston Battery just before the lightning struck.
Looks like the midfielder Arturo Rodriguez will take this. He was very active in the attack for Charleston in that first 21 minutes of play. Worth mentioning, he was our player to watch for the Battery coming into this one. A big part of that is just what a dynamic performer he is. He's not the tallest guy on the pitch, but he is very crafty and does a nice job of getting in there and challenging on loose balls.
Well, referee Matthew Corrigan has put exactly 20 minutes, 10 seconds elapsed on the clock, which puts us in that early in that 21st minute. He's going to blow his whistle, and we will be back in action here at HEB Park. After a nearly, or just over 1 hour delay, after that Lightning appearance. Here it is. Here's the kick. We're back underway here right in front of the Toros goal, and it goes out of play for goal kick.
It was read pretty well by the Toros on the free kick. They had that wall built up. They just followed that all the way out. No challenge from the Batteries. They tried to come forward to make a push toward that attack.
Hermosillo, bit of a missed kick there. This is going to go out of play. Did not go nearly as deep as he wanted. It'll be a throw-in the attacking third here for the Battery.
Worth noting, they haven't had a tremendous number of touches in the attacking third. In fact, they've only touched the ball once in their opponent's box in this match so far. So the Toros have done a nice job defensively holding the black and yellow at bay.
But I'm still amazed at that stat we had at the break. Passes in the final third, 41-4 in favor of the Toros. It shows how much the ball has been over on the Battery's end of the pitch for this game. And here's Davila with a nice through ball for Francois. And a chance here. I know the offside flag has gone up.
And Francois just had himself about half a foot too far forward, trying to hang on to that back line. But you've got to be very careful. You've got to keep your entire body behind that line. If you get a hand out, you get a knee out, that is an offside call.
So here's a through ball attempt here for the Battery down the right wing. Ritondole able to get the steal there. Took it away from Dodson. And now a duel there right on the touchline. Ball still in play, now it rolls out. It'll be a Battery throw in there. We're in the 23rd minute now here at HEB Park. No score as yet. An hour-long delay for Lightning. We're back underway here. Ball centered, headed out there by Hermosillo. Ball comes down to the foot of Coronado. And the Toros back on the move here. Oh, nice touch there by Ruiz. Settled it nicely, and he'll send it through for Francois. This is onside. He'll shoot, and a save made there by Muse. This stuck out his right arm and was able to deflect that wide. Another shot on goal there for the Toros.
Spectacular stance there for Trey Muse. He got as wide as he possibly could. Francois had an unbelievably sharp angle there to try to bend it in. Muse gets that off of his right shoulder to keep it alive.
Ruiz with a little turn. Yes, Herrera to his right. Now at the foot of Herrera. Two markers closing in on him. He'll get rid of it. Chested to Cabezas. Now Ritondole with time and space. He'll send it into the box, but it's headed out there by Archer. And headed forward by Barajas. Barajas, the only player to get a shot, an attempt at the Toros goal in this game so far. After a feed from Rodriguez. Toros still on the build-up here. Herrera has to retreat and send it back to Acque. Coronado is able to turn, trying to get to Francois. He's got players around him and gives it to Davila. Davila looking for help and a weak back pass, and it goes back to Charleston. Now they are on the move. Here's Williams. Williams, their leading goal scorer, send it into the middle. And then a shot and save made there by the goalkeeper for the Toros, Marancio.
That was missed just slightly to the right. What a nice job of stepping forward by Robbie Crawford on an errant pass, just kind of left sitting there in front of the box, and Crawford does not miss that by much. Second shot by the Battery, yet to put one on net, but that was extremely close.
The Toros back on the move. Action seems to have picked up right where it left off. Still a lot of energy by both teams. You can see both teams on the move. Here's Barajas. Trying to get through, has it kicked away from him by Ruiz. It'll be scooped up by Marancio. Ritondole, the Argentine. First year as a Toro player. There's a little give and go there with Cabrera. And it's going to be a free kick here for Rio Grande Valley.
A little bit of pressure there from the Battery. They end up tripping up Cabrera. as that one trickles out. You see right here, quite a bit of touching, and then they had that little bit of a challenge right there, end up wrapping up the knee of Cabrera.
Yeah, there have been 7 fouls called now on the Battery. Just 1 so far on Rio Grande Valley. Goes on the blue and white, on the move once more. It's the Ruiz. Tries to fire it all the way over, was trying to get it to Cabrera. And kick deep into Toro's territory. Williams chasing after that. He won't get to it. A little bit of pressure here by the Battery. And Toro's able to work through it. Toro's beaten last week here at HEB Park, 3-0 to Tampa Bay Rowdies in a game that the Toros felt that they were dominating, but it was the Rowdies who were able to finish late in the game, especially with 2 winners in the last 5 minutes to extend a 1-0 lead to a 3-0 lead after they had a penalty earlier in the second half. One of those the Toros probably felt they should have at least had a draw, if not a win, but just unable to finish last week. Hoping to change those fortunes around here tonight.
Speaking of wins, there's Declan Wynn for the Battery, throwing that one in.
Duel near the near touchline. And it's going to be a Toros throw in here in minute 27. Toros in a span where they have 3 of their next 5 on the road, including tonight's. After that, or excuse me, 3 of the next 5 at home, including tonight's. After that, they hit the road for a long swing in the summer. 7 of the next 9 will be away from home. Chance to pick up some home points here. Benitez trying to get to it. And now a spill right on the edge of the box. I think this is going to be just outside. It was Dotson who was upended. Are they going to say this is actually on Charleston, I believe?
Looked like that one carried out, so they'll say the contact was incidental between both, so it leads to a goal kick.
Yes, you are right. Yeah, foul on neither side there, and Dotson maybe thought he was fouled. Now here's a chance for Francois. Francois with 2 goals this year. Moves in. Now is cut off. Tries to find some help. Shot blocked in front. It deflects. And Muse is there.
The Battery had their hands up. I think they were looking for a handball to be called prior to that strike. Official waves that off and says get back to action.
Charleston sends this one deep. Almost coming after that, but Marancio comes out to make sure no danger develops. It'll be a throw in now for the Battery. I do. The Toros began tonight with 5 defenders back, but their offense has been electric for most of this game. Chance now for Barajas. Barajas will send it across inside. It's played down to the foot of Williams. He shoots and scores, and Charleston Battery are in front thanks to Augustine Williams with his 6th goal of the year.
That is a spectacular strike for the Battery. They get that ball into the box, and as we talk about all season long, anytime you can put the ball in play in the box, things can happen there. Nice cross, ends up in the box. It's headed down, and then look at Williams. Very, very sharp movement here. 1 touch to him, and he beats Marancio on the upper right corner. Battery strike first, 1-0. Just a beautiful attack right there. Nicely played down off of his chest, right to Augustine Williams, and an even better carry around the keeper.
That was Crawford with the assist there. After Barajas had crossed it, Crawford was able to tap it to Williams, who made no doubt about it with his left foot, sending it to the keeper's left. And it's 1-0 here for the Charleston We're going to have a free kick awarded to the Battery here now at midfield. So that has to take a little air out of your balloon there. The first shot on net for the Battery, and it's a goal after the Toros had the first 5 shots on net and unable to get one past Trey Muse.
Worth remembering, this is a Toros team that plays really well when they are the first team to score. They've yet to pick up a win when they did not score first. A couple of draws, able to come back and get second half goals to earn draws. But it's a Toros team that's much more effective when they are playing from out in front.
Yeah, and the Toros have been mainly a first half team this year. That's the scary part. Of their 9 goals, 7 of them have come in the first half, only 2 in the second half.
Certainly have some work ahead of themselves now, down 1-0. Still some time left in the opening half. About 14 minutes of play left here, including any stoppage time if they were to add it.
Already had an hour of stoppage time after that rain delay or lightning delay.
We haven't had any injuries yet, so there may not be a need to add stoppage time to it.
Davila passes it off to Herrera. Now Ruiz feeds Davila. Davila trying to move into the box. Sends it through. Nobody there, but it cleared out anyway by Archer. Archer's been Johnny on the spot on a number of occasions already in this first half for the Battery. Goes back on the move once more. This is onside and blocked out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick. Or is it? No, they're going to say goal kick here.
Must have been deflected back off of Ratandale.
Yeah, I thought it went off the defender's leg, but you're right. Maybe on that rebound, it might have hit Ritondale's leg or foot or something. He's gesturing for his players to move upfield. Wants to send this one deep. And now free kick being awarded to the Toros. It looks like Cabrera and Crawford got tangled up. Williams, the goal scorer, had his 6th goal of the season just moments ago, with the Battery in front, 1-0. Williams had come in with more than half of his shots on target for the season. When he shoots, he is deadly. Arancio sends it upfield. Goes to win, or trying to get it to win. Forced to just kick it downfield, was trying to get to Williams, but goes too far. And Merancio, the keeper, will come out to play it. Oh, nice flick on there by Francois. See what develops here. Allen comes in and was able to play it back to his keeper. Hughes sends it into safety. That's Cabezas, finds Herrera. Herrera just 18 years old. Now to Ruiz on the right side. He's a terrific playmaker, moves in. Allen heads that one out. The Toros able to regain control. The pattern we saw earlier in the first half. The Toros with relentless pressure able to regain possession again and again. Here's Cabeza, steps up, shoots, and oh, that looked like it went off the post. May have had Muse beat, who went to full stretch. The ball goes out of play, and they're going to say goal kick.
Nice long strike by Cabezas, and just misses that to the left. See, Muse immediately has his hands up. He was calling for that to be out from when it hit the upright.
Heavy pressure by the Toros. Williams passing it up. Oh, Oh, a nice pass there, and Marancio comes way out there, taking no chances as they were trying to play it forward to Arturo Rodriguez. There's Ruiz on top of it in a battle with Wynn. Herrera sends it forward. Francois trying to chase it down. It's kicked way upfield all the way back to Cabezas. As Williams on his tail. Now Akwe able to get turned. In the 36th minute now here at HEB Park. Augustine Williams' goal back in the 30th minute. The difference right now. Akwe out of Ghana. Makes a play on it. Cabezas, the captain, able to turn and fire to the right side. And Ruiz there with space to work with. Pass inside, intercepted by Allen. Allen came into this game with 17 intercepts. Second on the team. One touch by Ritondole. And Allen unable to save that one from going out. It'll be Toro's throw in. Toro's leading in shots 9-3. And shots on target 5-1. They trail on the scoreboard. Looking for that equalizer before they head to the locker room.
Toro's also still well ahead in time of possession, but the Battery, we mentioned, have made the most of the opportunities available to them. The strike put them up 1-0. So Augustine Williams has done a spectacular job with a bouncing ball in the box, and now the Toros back on their heels trying to find an equalizing attack.
Ruiz's long pass broken up by Archer, the Charleston center back. Toros recover here as Davila sends it to the left side. This is Cabrera. Retreats with two markers around him. Ritondole will fire it into the box, headed out there by the captain, A.J. Patterson. Patterson from Key Largo, Florida, has also played on the Grenadian national team. But this Charleston team has, I think, players representing 14 different countries. Kind of interesting. Most of them American, but players from the Caribbean, from Mexico, South America, and Africa, and Europe. This goes out of play. This will be a goal kick here for the Battery.
Toro's trying to get that over to Ricky Ruiz. He has a little bit of a heavy touch. Got a defender closing on him pretty. Oh, and see, that's what the Toros were upset about immediately after that, is as Ruiz is trying to come back into the attack, he ends up catching a hand from Wynn right across the jaw and upper neck.
Yeah, no call there, so referee rules play on. There's Toros getting control again. Coronado sends it into Charleston's half. And now we've got a free kick. Either a quick restart or he ordered play on. There's Allen out of England. And Patterson will send it back to Muse. Allen able to get turned. And the Battery will try for the build-up. The Battery came in averaging about 50% possession. So they're comfortable with the ball or without. Toros at about 52%. Long pass attempt here. And it's going to go too far to be Toro's ball. I think Allen is their center back is one of their best players when it comes to the long pass attempts. A 63% completion rate. Goes to Herrera. Herrera had one goal last year, his first year with Rio Grande Valley. Signed out of the USL Academy. him with the ball there, tries to pass it up. It's intercepted, however. Charleston Battery with possession now. This is Patterson. The defender will send it back to his keeper.
Mentioned pregame how Grande may have actually found himself a different position to excel from. He came out of the academy as a forward for Rio Grande Valley's, switched to defender as a last-minute need for the Toros this season. Second game at that position, he's played exceptionally well as a defender.
Archer able to dispossess Francois on that build-up. And back come the Battery. Here's Barajas, forced to retreat. Barajas had sent the cross into the Toros box that led to the Battery goal earlier in this half. Long pass here intended for Williams. Offside flag stayed down, but Williams unable to catch up to it. And this will be goal kick here in the 42nd minute. Guarnado sends it back to his keeper. Brancio will reverse it to the right side. Nice little flick on there by Herrera. It ends up is Battery's ball. Trying to feed Barajas again, but Akwe headed it away from him. And now free kick for the Toros as Ruiz is tripped up. Ruiz famous for that, being able to draw fouls. A little bit of words exchanged there.
You know, Augustine Williams and Gabriel Benitez a little unhappy with each other. I think Benitez didn't like Williams continuing to just kind of dribble a ball around after the reset was called. Williams says, no need for the push.
Yeah, you can see it there. Williams out of Sierra Leone. 6'3", 25 years old, forward. And Toros put it back in play. Fouls in this half, 9 on the Battery, just 2 on the Toros. Battery back on the move. They send it forward for Barajas. He's got Williams to his right. Barajas sends it inside. He goes to Williams, and it's just wide. Williams not quite able to get the touch I think he wanted. And Marancio might be shaken up a little bit too.
Barajas does a nice job with this cross. Carries it perhaps just a little bit too far. You see Williams can't really turn on. He tries to get that right foot to redirect. But Marancio had cut the angle off enough that he couldn't bend it back in.
A couple minutes left here in the first half. I don't think any time will be added. Here's Davila going for it. Ahead to his teammate Ruiz. Ruiz in his second year as a Toro. Sends it inside. Pass knocked away from Cabezas. Now comes back to Cabezas, turns and fires, and Muse is there for the save. 6 saves now in this half here for Trey Muse.
Looks like we will get 2 minutes of stoppage time added in just a little bit. Nice strike there by Cabezas, but read even more accurately by Muse to keep it off.
Back here in action. 45th minute now with 2 minutes of stoppage beckoning here in the opening half. Toro still looking for the equalizer. We've had 6 shots on target, but still trying to get one by Trey Muse. Here's one moving up ahead. This is Arturo Rodriguez. Trying to make a move on Akwe. Little back heel there is intercepted, and the Toros are back on the attack. Cabezas sends it ahead. There's Ruiz. Trying to get around Allen. And Allen able to win that duel. Allen goes inside to Patterson. Now Archer with it. Archer pitcher out of Trinidad and Tobago. Very tall defender too, 6'3". Long pass here, offside flag stays down. Barajas running onto it, sends it inside. Oh, a nice little sliding save there by the Toros. And Williams was right there on the doorstep. It might have been 2-0 if not for those sliding heroics by Benitez.
Yeah, Gabriel Benitez read that beautifully, and that's something the Toros had not had on 2 prior crosses from the batteries. Someone just to slide in and keep that off the foot of Williams.
That's great technique by Benitez too, because a lot of times that kind of situation can end up with an own goal. The ball hits it hits your leg at the right angle, it can go into the net rather than back outside. Benitez with a great sliding save there. 29-year-old defender out of Venezuela. The second minute of stoppage now. Charleston maybe looking for one more attack. This is Wins, going to sit inside, looking for Williams there. Trying to get around Ritondole. Williams will send it outside so the team can stay with possession. Ritondole trying to win that ball. And this will be a free kick here for the battery, won by Dodson.
And Dodson gets tripped up by all of the pressure from Ritondole. We'll call the foul on Ritondole in that case. Not a bad spot if you're Charleston as well. You're able to get some of your bodies forward. Most likely try to drop this free kick into the box and see what can happen on a bouncing ball.
This will be Rodriguez to take it. This is similar to the way we began the restart earlier in this half. Free kick from this part of the field, kicked into the net, sent out by Benitez. Might be time for one more attack here. This is Barajas. Barajas sends it inside. Benitez again able to thwart that opportunity. And now Francois on the move. Francois still fighting his way through. Only seconds left here in the half. And Francois finally dispossessed. They send that out of play, and I think that'll be the half it is. We are at the break, and our score is 1-0 in favor of the Charleston Battery, thanks to a 30th minute goal by Augustine Williams. And we're going to have a look at highlights and stats, also see what's going on around the rest of the USL in just a moment. Right now, you're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors. From savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
When it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on FAR 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing in your community? By creating jobs that stimulate our local economy, creating success that we share with our community. In fact, Lone Star National Bank donates more money and more volunteers to more causes than all other area banks combined. We do what the little banks can't, and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
And welcome back to Edinburgh, Texas. We're at HEB Park, where the Battery lead 1-0 over the hometown Toros. And time now for our halftime report.
Special thanks to our halftime sponsor, Live Oak Vodka, the official vodka sponsor of the Rio Grande Valley Toros. Let's take a look at our USL weekly feature.
Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. Sometimes you feel alone, like your world is collapsing, like there's no hope. But you're not alone. Someone is there to listen, to talk, to help you up. The United Soccer League is proud to support the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline because everyone needs support.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
Week 11 had some stellar performances across the USL. So now take a look at your Week 11 Team of the Week. Your Player of the Week is Nathan Steinwasser out of Detroit City. He's a keeper, picked up a clean sheet in their 1-0 victory, but more than just a clean sheet, he also had an assist to lead them to that 1-0 victory. Just the second time a keeper in the USL has picked up an assist on the year. He's a local product and made an early contribution to his team's success with a long pass up the field, which found its way through the wickets to his teammate, Skage Simonson, producing the spectacular finish in the 5th minute. That goal held up in their 1-0 victory over El Paso Locomotive FC. Congratulations to him in that huge victory. Elsewhere across the Team of the Week, another name which may stand out based upon what you're seeing on the pitch right now is our player to watch in this match, Arturo Rodriguez. The former League One MVP scored the only goal as the Battery picked up that 1-0 victory last week against Monterey Bay. This has been part of a positive all-around turnout for the Battery right now, as he completed 29 of 36 of his passes, winning 2 of the 3 tackles, and made 9 recoveries to ensure that the Battery had that big victory and continued to propel themselves up the standings in Group East. Elsewhere across the USL, a couple of news and notes to speak of. There is a United right now, as their defender Josh Suggs could become just the second player to record 20,000 regular season minutes in the USL Championship when his side visits San Antonio FC this evening. Now, Suggs is currently ranked second in the championship in history of minutes played, 19,913. Picked up a couple more minutes when he came in as a second-half substitution against Loudoun United last week, and playing a significant number of minutes tonight against San Antonio could push him to be the second player in USL history to reach 20,000 minutes.
All right, we take a look at the schedules now with these two teams, starting with our Charleston Battery, and after tonight they return home fairly soon, next Friday.
Yeah, they've got Indy 11 there at home. They'll also host Detroit City on June the 7th. They're back out on the road again, and it doesn't get much easier once they hit the road. They'll be at Pittsburgh, at Hartford, and at Memphis 901. The other side for the Rio Grande Valley Toros, their upcoming schedule will look a little bit like this. They'll conclude the action tonight, and then they'll hit the road. They'll be at Orange County. They'll come home to face Miami on June the 10th. Back on the road to face New Mexico United. Home to face Colorado Springs before wrapping up the month of June on the road at the Oakland Roots.
Yeah, and after that Colorado Springs game, they've got 7 of the next 9 on the road. That will be a tough stretch through the summer. And how about the standings now? So take a look there.
Starting with the eastern side, you see Charleston right there at the top, ahead by 4 points from Tampa Bay Rowdies. But look at how tight everything is packed up there in the east. Tampa Bay was 17, Louisville was 17, Pittsburgh was 17, Birmingham was 16. You have got 5 teams within 5 points of each other, 1 through 5, all stacked up there. Just a spectacular matchup there on the top side of the East in the USL. Looking over at the West, a little more spread out on the western side. A big part of that, well, look at what Sacramento Republic is doing, running away at the top. 27 points right now. Tailing right in behind them, El Paso, San Diego, San Antonio currently has 19. Bottom side of the playoff picture, you see currently standing with New Mexico United. They've got 14, but they're within striking distance of Monterey Bay and Rio Grande Valley. So still quite a bit to be worked out in the East as that playoff picture tightens up in the month of June.
Yeah, and the top 8 will make the playoffs in October. So that's you want to be at least be able to be within shooting distance of that playoff picture as the year goes on. Toros still have a chance for that tonight. When we come back, we're going to look at some highlights and then some stats as we continue here on a halftime report. Right now, you're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors. From savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
When it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on FAR 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing in your community? By creating jobs that stimulate our local economy, creating success that we share with our community. In fact, Lone Star National Bank donates more money and more volunteers to more causes than all other area banks combined. We do what the little banks can't, and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
And we're back now. Time for a look at our first half highlights, Brian.
Plenty of action on both ends. The Toros were in control very early on, but it was this strike by Augustine Williams that put Charleston Battery up 1-0. That's the difference in this one thus far, as the Battery took advantage of their first opportunity to put one on net. They put it back in. You see, Cabezas put a pretty good strike forward there for Rio Grande Valley, but Muse was in a good position to put an attack together there. But Ajas comes in. Nice cross looking for Augustine Williams. Could have been his second goal of the match, but Monancio came up big to push that one away. Another strike for the Toros there as they try to bounce that one into the box. Muse had another one of his high number of saves to keep the Rio Grande Valley Toros off of the board. And that's where we stand through 45 minutes of action with a nice lightning delay mixed in the middle of it. Charleston Battery leads this one 1-0.
Yeah, and I was taking a look at the Trey Muse's saves. He has 6 saves at halftime, and that equals his season high. He's had that twice, once against Las Vegas, a 1-0 win, and also back in April against Tulsa. That was a 2-1 victory. So this is only at halftime, so he should have a season high in terms of saves before the night is done. And looking at the other stats, the shots favor the Toros 11-4. Shots on target 6-1 in favor of the Toros. And then corner kicks 3-0 in favor of the Toros, but it's the score that favors Charleston Battery at this point. Fouls was 9-3. Charleston Battery with the majority of fouls there. And of course, we mentioned the saves, 6 saves by Muse, none officially for Marancio in the Toros net. So that's where we are here at the break, and just moments away from the second half. And Williams' goal, the difference right now, was a nice feed by Barajas into the mixer, and then Crawford touched it over to Williams, who fired it inside from about 6 yards out for the 1-0 lead.
Look there at Ricky Ruiz. He was a major part of the attack early on for Rio Grande Valley, and he's just so adept at moving with the ball at his feet and drawing contact. There's a nice conversation there with Duilio Herrera. The Toros had just about everything go right for them in the first half. Going into halftime, I think Wilmer Cabrera was pretty happy with his team's performance. It's just that one slight slip up defensively in the box that allowed Augustine Williams to put one in to be the difference in this one. The Toros have played really well, but it speaks to how this entire season has kind of gone for Rio Grande Valley. They play well, but one mistake here or there tends to be the difference, and they find themselves down 1-0 at the half.
Yeah, and their 9 goals this year has them 22nd in the league, a 24-team league, and they're tied at 22nd with the fewest goals scored. So, yeah, it hasn't been producing opportunities, but it's been the finishing that's been the problem.
Yeah, it's been the whole difference here. Speaking about it this week coming into the match, one of the things that Coach Cabrera talked about at length was the need for his team to really recognize that they have the ability to finish at a much higher rate than what they do. He said this game is 90% about mental toughness, and you can have talented players, you can have skilled players, but if they don't have the strength mentality to finish in those key moments, you find yourselves coming out on the lower side of these outcomes. Lately, we've shown ourselves to have lapses of concentration during matches, especially at home, and that's been the difference between wins and draws. This is a Toros team that has had a significant number of draws on the year already. Being able to settle in that strong mental mentality is the difference between those draws and those wins. And a couple of wins, and the Toros find themselves in a whole different position in Group West.
Yes, they dropped 2 points against New Mexico United here at HEB Park. They were up 2-0 going into second half stoppage time, gave up 2 goals in the 4 minutes of stoppage, ended up with only 1 point with a 2-2 draw there instead of a potential 3. Another game they had when they were against Tampa Bay. Of course, they kind of dominated that one, gave up 3 goals late and ended up losing that one. Memphis 901 was another one like that they gave up 3 goals late when in a game that they seemed to be dominated. Yeah, just can't find the back of the net often enough to produce those wins. Their last 4 games coming into this one, actually this will be the 5th straight game that they've had at least 10 shots that they've been able to produce. They have 11 already here at the break as we start second half.
And being unable to finish in those key moments can do some really weird things to your mentality, because you can start to over-pursue, over-press, overextend. And when you do that, you open yourself up to your opponent's attack. And you saw that against Tampa Bay last weekend. It seemed like the Toros were just a little over-pursuing. They weren't staying within that typical scheme of their attack. And because of that, there were a couple of nice counter opportunities that led to goals by Tampa Bay.
Cabezas forward to play the ball back to Acque as the Toros were trying to get something going with Ritondole initially charging into the Charleston Battery half. The Battery defense working the ball away from him. Now this will be a Toros throw in deep on the far side. Just underway here in the second half. Teams have switched ends. This is Ruiz going up against Patterson. Will be passed around to Coronado. Coronado sends it to the left side. Again, Ritondole with acres of space to work with. Sends it into the box and sent it actually behind. I think he was trying to get it to Cabrera. It's cleared out. Benitez now to Acque in the middle. World's still looking for that equalizer, and they come out gunning here in the early part of the second half. still enough time for them to get all 3 points here this evening. But they have struggled to score goals in the second half. We mentioned of their 9 goals, 7 have come in the first half. Only 2 have been in the second half this season. It's been a different showing for their opponents. Their opponents have scored 3 in the first half against the Toros and 12 in the second half. That's a trend that the Toros would look to reverse here this evening. We see Charleston Battery fire it forward for Williams. Williams, the goal scorer, back in the first half. Now it's crossed over to the left side. That's Barajas. A nice settle. Goes to the touchline, and then his pass inside is blocked out of bounds by Herrera. This is Allen. Pass intercepted by Akwe. Francois is upended. Play will continue. And you know, Brian, I know teams often look around the 60th minute to kind of make a decision on substitutions, subbing for offense or defense. I think if the Toros are able to get that equalizer before that the hour mark, that could impact who they put in sub-wise, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I believe if you're the Toros right now, you're focused entirely on offense right now. Remember, they came out with 5 defenders, so a big substitution that could be made around that point might be to add a forward. Remove a defender, add a forward, build your attack back up. If you're in a position where you were up 1-0 at this point, you may actually look to maintaining those 5 defenders because your defense has worked so well. It's applied pressure. It's put your opponent on their back. The Toros have been the aggressor thus far. They've played well, but as we said, that one small slip-up that allowed Augustine Williams to put one in puts the Toros in a kind of a precarious situation where they've got to focus on building an effective attack.
Here's Davila moving in, makes a little move, and then Archer blocking the shot. DeBessa settles at his feet, and then turns and fires, and Muse is able to grab that one. The Charleston Battery, I think, thought the ball had been handled, and they all kind of stopped, but the referee immediately gestured tapping his shoulder to indicate that the ball had hit his shoulder and was not a handball. The Battery on the move here, and I think we may have a foul here as Benitez and Dotson are in the mix. We're going to see the trainer come out onto the pitch for the first time this evening.
I think this yellow is going to go on Benitez. The little insult to injury here, he's going to draw the card on top of the trainer having to come out to take a look at him, and he looks like he's in some pretty serious pain. Another look at the replay here. Dotson and Benitez full sprint down. Oh, right there, it looks like his foot got tied up under Dotson as he comes by. He gets twisted awkwardly on the way down.
You can see Benitez grabbing the jersey of Dotson.
You see it right there. That ankle gets twisted on the way down. The official will wait to issue the card once he can find out the status of Benitez as they take a look at him.
And Benitez had a couple of good plays, good defensive plays there in the first half. He may have to come off for at least a little while.
He may actually be coming off ultimately. You saw he pulled his shin guard out. Not going to help him off. I think the Toros are going to have to substitute for Benitez here.
Yeah, I saw that little hand-over-hand gesture one of the players made. And he's not going to be able to continue with his ankle.
Like Frank Nodarce is ready to substitute in now. Indeed he will. There's a look at the 6'2 Cuban. Frank Nodarce will come in to replace Benitez.
This will be the first sub that either team has made. And Nodarce a defender, but he has that that speed and that ability to run up and join the offense when an opportunity beckons. And Darcy can a good two-way player. Vanna Cuba, here's the free kick opportunity, headed out by Akwe. And then fanned on there by Polvara. And Toro's trying to get it out and to build something up here. Chance on the breakouts. They send it forward to Francois. Francois goes inside to Cabrera. Now Coronado. Send the attack over to the left side. He's got Ritondole over there. What the Toros like to do and really spread that field horizontally. Now Nodarse with his first touch. Akwe will charge forward. Again, stretching it to the right side. Ruiz sends it through. Bounces to the foot of Davila now. Toros still looking for the equalizer here. Ritondole will play it back. Toros showing a lot of patience here offensively. Nodarse. Ahead to Ritondole. And it blocked out of bounds by Dodson. Dodson out of Aurora, Illinois. Ritondole, the Argentine. Plays it inside. I think they're going to say it was out of bounds up near the quarter flag. Goes to the foot of Williams. Now to Ritondole. They're going to say there was a foul called, however, against the Toros. I believe against Cabrera.
See right here as Williams tries to get possession. There's Nodarse comes in, applies a little bit of pressure to the upper back, puts Williams down. That's the easy foul call.
Yeah, I thought it was Cabrera, but you're right, Nodarse getting the foul on Williams. So a free kick here for the Battery. This is the Battery's first ever visit to Edinburgh. First meeting between these two clubs was last September, and that was in Charleston. And the Toros winning that one 3-0. They were making that late season run and eventually did qualify as the last seed in the Western Conference for the playoffs.
A little admonishment there for Polvara, who made the sliding tackle from behind to draw that foul.
So Cabezas turns, sends it to Akwe. Toros getting all the players involved. They bring up that back line as far as they dare. Keep them on the fringe of the offense. So a nice little move there by Cabrera. Will send it through for Francois, just ahead of him. And then a spill in the box, and this is going to go out for goal kick. I guess technically a foul there based on where they're spotting the ball. 56th minute now here at HEB Park. Ball able to win it there. They head to Rodriguez. There's Allen again on the retreat. Hughes has to hurry with his clearance. Headed up in the air by Dodson. And a chance here brewing for the Battery. Then broken up and stolen there by Nodarse. Oh, nice move there by Coronado. Now Davila with it in the midfield. He'll send it to the right side. Ruiz is there looking for some help in the middle. And this is blocked out of play. It'll be a corner kick now for Rio Grande Valley. Be their fourth of the game and the first in this half.
Toros remaining really aggressive here in the second half. They continue to be the aggressors. You can see the effort they're putting out. They're getting some pretty good looks, but this defense, again, for Charleston has been really strong. So Toros have had looks, but they have not had that point-blank opportunity they've been able to put in the back of the net.
Davila sends it in. It's headed out by Patterson of the Battery. This will go out for a throw-in. So Davila put that in a good position right on the edge of that 6-yard box. But Patterson rose to the occasion there. Here's Akwe, sends it in. A header goes over the bar. Got it to Francois, who wasn't quite able to get the touch he wanted. 13 shots now for the Toros in this game, compared to just 4 for the Battery.
So once again, the Toros getting plenty of shots, but they're not getting our high-quality, uncontested shots in the box. Very different from what you've seen from Charleston. They have not had a high number of shots, have the Battery, but they had one that had basically no contesting added to it, and so because of that, Williams was able to put a really nice pass into the back of the net. So it's not just about getting opportunities, it's about getting high-quality opportunities. The advantage goes to the Battery thus far in that regard.
You saw Barajas with the steal, then they fed the ball to Crawford. Now here's Dodson with it. Dodson falls down. It's going to be a free kick here in a dangerous position here for the Battery. Cabezas arguing about that call.
Yeah, Cabezas saying he fell on his own. I was literally pulled back, had my arms up, my hips back. I wasn't applying contact to him. But the official sees it just a little bit differently, and unfortunately for Cabezas, it's the official's opinion that matters in this regard.
So Rodriguez standing over it. 5'7", 136 pounds. It's 2 goals, 1 assist this year. Ball sent in. It's headed by Akwe. And then headed out by Nadarse. Wasn't sure what he had around him, so he elects for the side of safety, errs on the side of caution, and gives up the corner.
Pretty good little chip there by Rodriguez, trying to bend that into a soft spot in the middle of the box before that is headed out.
First corner of the match here for the Battery. Olvara out of Pleasantville, New York will take the free kick. Coming in toward the box and headed out by Nadarse again. Well anticipated as that was well inside the 6-yard box. In fact, I'm surprised Marancio stayed back and Nadarse comes out and surrenders another corner. This will be Barajas take this one. Barajas entered tonight with 4 assists. That ties for the league lead. It's out of Sacramento, California, just 17 years old. This comes in toward the near post and a little too far in to go out for goal kick.
A little pressure there from Charleston. They came forward to put some effort into Akwe and force him to clear that a little quicker than he wanted to.
Darce with it. Cuban will send it back to his keeper, Marancio. Drew his first start tonight in the USL Championship match. And now here's Cabrera. Cabrera moving through traffic. Has Francois to his left. Circles around and goes to Davila. Davila, former player with the LA Galaxy 2. Has it off to Ruiz. Ruiz, a shot! And a save made there by Muse. Looked like it was deflected. I think he was trying to catch it. Ended up deflecting it. And the Battery very lucky to not give up a goal here.
Ricky Ruiz placed that really well. That's high. And those really high, hard shots are hard to stay in front of. You see Muse had to put his hands up and ends up just getting the deflection. Oftentimes that can get deflected in. Nice job of placing his wrist in a way by Muse to push that out rather than allowing it to cook back in.
Well, we see a substitution here, and the newest member of the Charleston Battery on Avila on loan from Houston Dynamo. Here's the corner kick coming in. Akwe with the header, then kicked out by the Battery. Battery still not out of danger, and now they chip it forward, trying to get it to Williams.
When Avila came in, he replaced Fidel Barajas.
Again, Avila, who just was signed on yesterday on loan from Houston Dynamo, Major League Soccer. And making his first appearance here with the Battery. 63rd minute now. Another opportunity here for the Toros. Ruiz inside. Archer heads it back out. Toros will regroup. That pass intercepted. Well anticipated there, and this is a good opportunity here for the Battery. An intercept by Polvara. Now to the foot of Avila, who just came on, tripped up in the box. It's going to be a penalty kick for the Charleston Battery. And for the second week in a row, the Toros have allowed a penalty.
Dino Darce making the argument that it's no penalty here. That was placed really nicely to the aforementioned Avila. Nadarce is going to get a foul there just about every time. Anytime you've got your hands on the opponent when they go down, even if you're not the one pulling them down or pushing them down, it's just that level of contact in the box. It's not going to favor you if you're the defender.
Last week, Tampa Bay converted on a penalty in the 64th minute, and now Charleston with an opportunity in the 64th minute. This will be Williams to take it. He scored earlier tonight. Williams, shot and goal, and the Battery lead it 2-0 here midway through the second half.
The Toros have had far more advantages than the Battery, but the Battery have had very high quality opportunities. Second goal for Williams. He got one in about the 38th minute on a ball knocked down to the box. Comes back now on the penalty kick in the 65th minute. Is able to put the Battery up 2-0. It's not about the number of chances you get, it's the quality of them. And the Battery have had the much higher quality opportunities here. And you see Augustine Williams just places that beautifully right out of the outstretched arms of Marancio.
Yeah, I don't think Marancio could have done any more with that. He guessed to the correct side. He jumped to his right, went to full stretch. But Williams had put a ton of smoke on that and buried it in the back of the net for his 7th goal of the season.
Like some substitutions coming now for the Toros, as Francois will come out for Jose Torres. Robert Coronado is also coming out. Looks like Frank Lopez will come in to replace him.
And Frank Lopez and Torres in there for offense. Lopez forward, Torres a midfielder. A lot of veteran experience. Torres 35 years old, out of Longview, Texas, former U.S. men's national team member. And now 2-0 our score here, after 2 goals tonight here by Augustine Williams. One in open play in the first half, and then a penalty kick just moments ago. Penalty kick won by the newest Battery member, Roberto Avila, who had just come onto the pitch maybe 3 minutes before that. And it goes to Cabrera. Now to Lopez. Lopez trying to get turned. Finds Cabezas. Toros will continue to turn up the heat offensively, trying to get back in this contest. There's a shot blocked in front. Still loose in the area. Under Darce running onto it. That was too far for Cabezas. And a chance here for the Battery. as Allen sends it down for Williams. Now the ball to Rodriguez. Rodriguez steps in, back to Williams. Got markers all around him, trying to pass over to the left side. I think he was trying to get it to Wynn, but it was kicked away and out of play. Wynn had come up from his defender spot to take advantage of that opportunity.
If you're a Toro right now, anytime the ball's at the legs of Williams, I think you're holding your breath right now. He's got the hot foot on the evening.
Wynn, by the way, 5'10" defender out of South Africa from Johannesburg. Shot blocked in front. And Davila able to rescue it, and the Toros back on the move here. They might be able to get something brewing here. Is running onto it was Cabrera. Almost was able to wrong foot Muse there. Cut Muse a little off balance. He goes out for goal kick.
Cabrera made the most of this opportunity he could. Just about puts that on. Muse had allowed himself to float out a little bit too far. He was going to be able to get back to challenge on that. But Cabrera had put it just a little bit too far wide.
Battery on the move here. Here's Avila. Pass intercepted. It's by Herrera. Ball's trying to get something in the midfield. Allen ends up with it. Going to chip it to the right to Williams, who's a lot of space in front of him. He'll move up and shoot for that far post, just wide, as Marancio went to full stretch on that one. Williams tried to slide to get that one. It goes to Cabezas. And the Toros will move up. Davila sends it ahead to Cabrera. Into the box. Lopez goes down. Davila shoots, and Muse is there for the save. There's another look at that one.
Perhaps the best opportunity the Toros have had all evening right there. Muse steps up big again there. He is just collecting save after save after save.
He's up to 9 saves now, a season high for him. In fact, he came in with 27 saves. Now has raised his production by 25%. And he's still got the shutout up there as well. He came in with 4 clean sheets tonight, which was tied for second in the USL Championship. Might pick up his 5th here tonight. Got a Battery player shaken up. Jose Torres charged with the foul.
So Arturo Rodriguez went down. We'll look at the contact here. Not a lot there. There's a little bit of motion down at that ankle. See, Jose Torres waved his finger as soon as that foul call was made. Not beckon the trainer. Oh, now they will. They'll beckon the trainer out now to take a look at Rodriguez.
We'll see a close-up of Chris Allen, midfielder from England. Allen very good in that midfield with his passing. One of the top players with 87% pass accuracy. So Rodriguez looks to be okay. We're back in play. Fouls almost even now. 10 on the Battery and 9 on the Toros. It was about 9-3, I believe, at halftime. It's Marancio. He's going to send it upfield. Won by Rodriguez. Goes to Archer now, and they reverse all the way to the right, and Dodson will bring it up. And now this is going to be holding on Cabrera. There'll be a free kick here for the Battery.
Little skirmish there between Cabrera and Dodson. Dodson did a little heat check after that word's exchanged.
Well, Allen had his pocket picked there by Davila. Davila moving down, looking for help. As it kicked away by Dodson, it'll be a Toros throw-in. Toros still have 2 subs left. So they might try to bolster that offense. Looking for a goal here late.
Greg Lopez is arguing that this should be a penalty kick, that he was in the box when he's taken down. It's right on the line, and the official is going to spray a line over the existing line. He'll say that was just outside the box.
Wow.
You see Lopez just kind of shakes his head. You don't get much closer than that for a free kick.
No, you don't. You don't. And the line is technically considered part of the box, but I think he means the center of the ball, I guess, is just outside.
I think that's a nice call to be made, too. It looked like Frank Lopez, the initial bump, put his feet beyond the line before he's taken down.
I don't think I've ever seen it that close. This is Torres and Cabrera standing over the ball. Torres to the right of it. 2 men in the wall. It's going to be Cabrera, sends it on target. He tried to distract Muse, but he kept his eye on the ball and made the save.
On top of having Cabezas streaking right in front of him there, it looked like that was almost going to be set for Cabezas to redirect. He lets it through, but Muse reads it beautifully between the legs. Was able to corral that one in.
10 saves now for Muse. 74th minute. There's the ball won by Ritondole. And send it to the left side. This is onside. And Archer sends it out of play after Torres crossed it in. This will be a corner kick.
Substitution for Rio Grande Valley before that can happen. As Taylor Davila is going to come out, Eric Kisner is coming in. Additionally, Ian Seto will come in for Duilio Herrera.
And that'll be the last 2 substitutes here for the Toros. Seto, 26 years old, midfielder out of Miami. And Kisner, the 20-year-old defender out of Tacoma, Washington, although we've seen Kisner play up in the forward spot. He's listed as a defender, but we'll see where he settles in on the pitch. Goes to Akwe. Darcy plays it forward for Ruiz. Running toward the touchline. Headed by Patterson. And then Nudarce tried to head it to a teammate, but it goes to the Battery. Trying to get it down to Williams. Chance here for the Battery. It's got 3 against 4 here. Here's Avila. Avila moves in, shoots just over the bar. Uses his left foot to try to float it into that high corner. And was just wide.
Not a bad strike for Avila. Showing some real skill on the touch there.
We're in the last 15 minutes now. Toros need 2 goals to come away with points here tonight. This is Ruiz. 2 markers on him. Now gets it through. Offside flag was down. That was intended for Lopez.
Substitution now for the Battery, as Alec Cochran will come in to replace Dante Polvara. Also, Juan Palma will come in to replace A.J. Patterson.
Cochran, 30-year-old defender out of St. Louis. And did you say Palma was the other?
Yeah, in for Patterson.
Oh, okay. He's out of Columbia, 23 years old.
A lot of performance by the Battery, up 2-0 now. They'll get some experienced legs out on the pitch now to help them try to protect this lead.
Yeah, the Battery looking for what would become their 2nd consecutive shutout victory. They had a 1-0 win over Monterey Bay last week. Lead 2-0 here in Edinburgh, Texas, with less than 15 minutes to go before second half stoppage. This was after a 7-0 disaster loss 2 weeks ago to San Antonio. They've certainly tightened the screws since then. Toros could be looking at their not only second consecutive loss, but a home loss and second consecutive shutout loss at that, if they aren't able to score one here tonight. They've had 10 shots on net tonight. That equals their season high. They had 10 on target against Monterey Bay, a 1-1 draw back in March 24th.
I'm going to yellow here against Frank Nodarce. A little too physical with Arturo Rodriguez there.
Darcy running on to Rodriguez. Didn't look like too much, but be a free kick here for the Battery in the attacking third. Toros in the last 15 minutes this season have had only one goal during that sequence. Their opponents have scored 7 times in the last 15. Free kick into the box. Goes out of play. I think that was Avila who was trying to jump up to get the head on the ball. Unable to do so. Ritondoli forced the retreat. Kinsner plays it over for Akwe, and Akwe will send it deep to the left. Dotson in position there to head it to his teammate, Avila. And the Battery dissipate that attack. Akwe will chase it down, and the Toros will begin again. In the 80th minute now. Williams with both goals here tonight for the Battery. One on a penalty kick. Allen sends that up. Williams able to play it into the middle. Then Williams here shaken up there on the high side of the screen. Play will continue. And now the play goes out of bounds, and they get the official's attention. We'll see if they take Williams out at this point with the 2 goals tonight. Do anything to happen to your top goal scorer. And after tonight, the Toros go on the road next week. They'll be at Orange County. That'll be next Saturday. They'll be in Orange County, California. They return back on June 10th to take on Miami FC here at HEB Park. And after a home game on the 21st, this is kicked up to Muse. Muse easily able to spear that one down. On the 21st, when they play Colorado Springs, they go on the road for 7 of 9. Charleston Battery, by the way, returns home Friday to take on Indy 11. And then they've got a midweek game. They'll be playing on the following Wednesday, June the 7th, when they host Detroit City.
After getting back up for a moment, Augustine Williams returns back down to the pitch. They'll beckon the trainer out to look at him.
Had some rain earlier today, so it was humid out there on the pitch. Of course, we had an hour-long lightning delay back in the first half. It's been a long evening for these players. does have 2 substitutes left. I think they'll take Williams off now. Goals by Williams in the 30th minute, and then a penalty kick by Williams in the 65th minute.
Indeed they will. Williams will come off. Joseph Schmidt, the midfielder, will come in to replace him here.
Schmidt, 24-year-old midfielder out of Ohio. And Augustine Williams with an impressive performance. The Sierra Leonean night is done. A little bit of history here on the Charleston Battery. Their club name refers to the battery in downtown Charleston, which is the landmark defensive seawall and promenade of Charleston that stretches through the peninsula. And battery is a military term. If you know about artillery, that usually refers to a group of cannon.
They have lived up to their name defensively on the evening here. They have taken every shot the Toros could bring and have sent them away.
Yeah, and Williams with a couple of cannon shots himself that have made the difference here so far. This is Kinsner. He was in the product of the Seattle Sounders Academy in Washington State. Long pass into the attacking half. Now Cabezas, the captain, will send it over to the left side. Utondoli able to keep that in play, or did he? No, he didn't. There'll be a throw in here for the Battery here in minute 85. Headed out by Kinsner. Won by Rodriguez there. Back to Archer, who will send it back to Muse in goals. Had a brilliant night with 10 saves. Could be adding to that total before we're done. Season high for him. He was a top quality keeper last year with Memphis 901. And then when the head coach, Ben Pierman, came from Memphis 901 to the Battery, he brought him with him. Utondoli. Back to Kinsner. No one in the box at the moment for the Toros. Nice little give and go there. Cabezas' pass inside, knocked away. And now free kick awarded to Charleston. The Toros had only 3 fouls in the first half. They've had 9 here in the second half. And Charleston has had just 2. Long pass, Battery with a couple of players down there. It's Dodson chasing after it, wasn't able to keep it in play though. And they're going to say corner kick. Went off Kinsner. So this will be the 3rd corner of the match for Charleston. And Rodriguez will be taking it. Going to play this short so they can burn some time. So it goes to Crawford. Kinsner kicks that away out of bounds. There'll be a throw in here for the Battery. Dodson will throw it in. Goes to Rodriguez. The two defenders on him, goes out of play, and again, it's Charleston's throw-in. Now we've got a free kick awarded, or is this going to be throw-in again? I think free kick. Like the card is out.
To go against Jose Torres. Pick up the third yellow for the Toros in this one. Sees he comes in just a little bit too aggressively there and takes the plant leg out from under Dodson.
So for Torres, that'll be his second yellow of the year. Earlier tonight, Nadarce picked up his third booking, and Benitez picked up his third. No bookings on the Battery tonight. And here's Rodriguez running to the baseline. Sends it inside. Shot from outside goes well over. And this will be goal kick here for the Toros. 89th minute now. Should have some stoppage time. But even with that, not much time remaining here for Rio Grande Valley to get the equalizer. Aqua's going to bring it up as far as he can. Now it's at the foot of Ruiz. Chipping it to the left to Ritondoli, who will chest it down to Kinsner. Nice move there by Cabezas, another good move. He'll thread it through for Ritondoli into the box. Archer is there to kick that one out. Now to Ball, the midfielder. Or Allen, I should say. Toro's close to that one. It'll go back to Muse. He'll take his time picking that up. In the 90th minute there. How much time do we think will be added?
Looks like we're going to get 5 minutes of stoppage time added to this one. A couple of injuries here in the second half. If you're the Toros of Rio Grande Valley, time is of the essence now. We approach the 90-minute mark.
There's 5 minutes left when New Mexico United was here not too long ago. In that situation, the Toros were the ones with the 2-0 lead. 5 minutes later, it was 2-2. Toros have had a lot of offense here tonight with 17 shots, 10 of them on target. But they need at least 2 more. Come away with points here tonight. This stays onside here. It's sent upfield a little too far as Cabrera was running onto it, went behind him. Opportunity lost there for the Toros.
There was an extra ball that came out onto the field.
I saw Kinsner run over there and kick it out. I thought somebody was injured, but I didn't see anybody laying down. But yeah, you're right. Extra ball was out there. The Battery, if they win tonight, would continue to lead in the East. They came in with 21 points, a 4-point lead over the second-place Tampa Bay Rowdies. We'll check and see if the Rowdies won. They were up 2-0 in the second half.
They ended up winning 2-1.
2-1, okay. So they move up to 20 points. Just 1 point behind the Battery at the moment. If the Battery get all 3, they'll move up to 24 points and have that 4-point lead once again. Nadarce sends that into the box. Sent out by Cochran. Cochran, the experienced defender out of St. Louis. Go in here for the Toros. Now 2 minutes elapsed here in the stoppage. 3 minutes left. Inside it goes, and then sent away once again. Insner send this one deep. And then Dodson able to clear that one. Now the Battery, I think, content to just stay back. Play defense the rest of the way here as we're halfway through stoppage. Akwe running forward. Up against Avila. And I think this might be a booking.
Like we'll get a yellow on Avila.
His first appearance with the Battery after coming down on loan from the Houston Dynamo. He's the one that picked up the penalty kick earlier in the second half that led to a goal by Williams. Here's Torres. Make him start again. Torres, the 35-year-old out of Longview, Texas, standing over the ball. And the referee making him bring the ball back to the spot of the foul. You staying back. Opportunity there. Goes out of bounds, however. I think trying to get the redirect was Nodarse. And this will be a goal kick here for Charleston Battery.
Trey Muse in no hurry to put this kick on. He'll take some time. Adjust his gloves, adjust the ball placement, rearrange his teammates. Time keeps on ticking.
And it looks like the Battery will be winning their second straight. As we said, would move up to 24 points and would maintain that 4-point lead in the East. Here's his chip forward, and Muse comes out to smother that one. Offside flag had stayed down as they were trying to feed Cabrera. And good anticipation by Muse. Ritondole there with the first touch. And chance here again for the Toros. Might be the last opportunity here to get, at least to get a goal. Ruiz. Over to the left has Ritondole there. Toros sending everybody into the box. Inside, headed up in the air. Crawford tried to clear. And now goes to the foot of Crawford, who's going to clear at the distance. That might be the last kick. And it is. That will do it. Our final 2-0. Charleston Battery wins it behind a couple of goals by Augustine Williams. And Brian, who's our man of the match?
Give it no further than Augustine Williams. What a performance he had. Had the goal in the 30th minute, picked up the second goal in the second half on the penalty kick, and he was single-handedly the difference in this game, the 2-0 victory. What a performance by the defense of the Charleston Battery. What a phenomenal performance by Williams to come in those big moments. He didn't get a lot of touches, but the ones he got, he took great advantage of. Charleston continues to make themselves the class of the East with a 2-0 victory here.
All right, we're going to have a look at some highlights in just a moment. We'll see those goals once again and a final look at the stats for tonight. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors. From savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
When it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on FAR 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing in your community? By creating jobs that stimulate our local economy, creating success that we share with our community. In fact, Lone Star National Bank donates more money and more volunteers to more causes than all other area banks combined. We do what the little banks can't, and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
And we're back here at HEB Park, wrapping things up. Brian, take us through the highlights.
Phenomenal performance on both sides, but give the advantage to the Battery right here. Nice job of placing that to the foot of Augustine Williams. That put Battery up 1-0 early here in the second half. Coming back the other way here, Williams. Look at that finish off of the touch. With Charleston up 1-0. Toros tried to build something back together very quickly. A little bit too aggressive there by Frank Nodarce. Leads to a penalty in the box. He disagreed. But Augustine Williams able to finish on a spectacular penalty kick there. That put the Battery up 2-0. And that was the difference in this one, despite some really nice effort. High number of shots from Rio Grande Valley, but it can't match what the Battery were able to do with the two opportunities they had. They put them both in the back of the net. See Williams right here bending in. Almost got a third goal. That one came out just a little bit wide right. Davila got probably the best look the Toros had all evening right there, but Trey Muse picked that out of the air, knocks it down. Despite all of the effort on both sides, Charleston Battery comes away with a huge victory here, 2-0 off of those two goals by Williams.
Yeah, second straight win by Charleston Battery, second straight shutout win by the Battery tonight, who improved to 24 points on the year with 7-2 record with 3 draws. And meanwhile for the Toros, their second straight loss, both of them at home and both of them by a shutout, as they fall to 2-4 with 5 draws, still stay on 11 points and outside of the West playoff picture. Shots tonight, 17 for the Toros versus 8 for the Battery, and then shots on target 10-2 in favor of the Toros, but both shots on target for the Battery went into the net. None of the Toros' goals got past Trey Muse, who had a season-high 10 saves tonight and his 5th clean sheet of the season. So Battery will play Friday at home against Indy 11. For the Toros, they go on the road next Saturday. They'll be at Orange County, California. That'll do it for tonight. Battery win it 2-0. For Brian Smith, I'm Mark May. The rest of our USL Championship broadcast crew, good night from Edinburgh, Texas.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.